For 255 chapters of the JJK manga, there was always 4 characters emphasized as the next generation's greats. Yuta Akotsu, the cursed child. Yuji Itadori, son of Kenjaku and the previous vessel of Sukuna. Maki Zenin, the heavenly restricted demon who slayed her entire family. And Kenji Hakari, a generic delinquent high schooler. This character moved me for a bit, but in today's video, let's talk about why this guy really isn't all that. What's up guys, I don't even want to say that name anymore. Anyways, in today's video, we've got something a little bit different. For the past year and a half, I've been defending and glazing Hakari, and honestly, today, I really just fell off on this character. What about it impacted me? Let's talk about it. If you enjoy JJK videos like these, go ahead and subscribe. You get more videos on your feed, so it's a win-win for both of us. The first ever mention of Hakari was on chapter 10, where he's referred to as an idiot by Maki. For context, Hakari got suspended from Jujutsu Tech for, wait for it, beating up an old man. This goes completely unnoticed by the community and should be talked about more. Is this guy a psycho? This all stemmed from an argument as well. It low-key reminds me of a nigga moment. It gets even crazier when you realize that Kirara was there as well and got suspended. Now, this gives credence to 2 different options, and both don't really look good for this guy. 1. Kirara and Hakari 2v1'd an old man. Or 2. Hakari beat the old man up to flex for Kirara. Going into the first one, dog, apart from the fact that this is beyond psychotic, can y'all imagine the random old guy fighting Kirara and Hakari at the same time? Like, let's actually think about this. Hakari gets into this argument and launches his domain expansion because obviously he can't do anything in base, something I'm gonna talk about in a second. But in the domain, since he has to fight the old guy, Kirara holds him off. Once Hakari gets in jackpot, both Kirara and Hakari have to jump him, and Hakari just ends up getting suspended. I have a strong feeling the ones who stopped this rampage was not 1 random old guy, but 2. Definitely a force to be reckoned with for Mr. Punch Kick. And for the second option, that's just pathetic, man. Hakari beats up an old guy in jackpot, mind you, because don't forget how strong the old guy is, and flexes for his girl. Like, come on, dog. The next time we get a mention of Hakari is in the next chapter, chapter 11, as Gojo talks about his plans for the future. He became a teacher to lead a new generation of strong allies, but the 3 he emphasizes are Yuji, Yuta, and of course, Mr. Punch Kick. He says Yuta and... Hold up. Zoom into that. Those are dreads. Hakari is a delinquent, nigga moment. He beats people up out of ignorance because of arguments, nigga moment. And for some reason he has dreads, nigga moment. Hakari is blackfishing. Why else would Hakari be terrorizing the streets like this? He is quite literally trying to be a stereotypical black person.
Is this nigga serious?
If you didn't know, the latest chapter, chapter 255, has had a lot of people assuming Gojo was racist for his comments on Miguel. But this entire time, the only racist character in the show is the guy literally trying to be what he thinks is black. This genuinely is not a good look. Gojo's statement is that Hakari, Yuta, and Yuji all have the potential to become as strong as him someday. Some would take this statement at face value and believe this, but no. Let's not forget what's been repeatedly reinforced in the story. Gojo is a waffler. In chapter 63, Yuji accidentally consumed the finger, and Yuji realizes that the entire fight, Sukuna didn't help out once. Then he thinks back to what Gojo told him, that Sukuna would lead him towards fingers to regain his power. Clearly that just wasn't the case, so Yuji asks if Gojo just spouts off nonsense all the time. If that's not proof enough for you, Gojo got sealed, and the first thing this nincompoop said was that everyone's going to be fine and that he has faith in everyone. Mind you guys, right after this Yat Master said this, Mei almost dies to Kenjaku but runs away, putting everyone in more danger, Yuji almost dies to Choso, the entire B team almost dies to Dagon, Toji almost kills Megumi, Jogo kills Naobito, and almost kills Maki and Nanami. Sukuna comes out, kills Jogo, kills these two girls, kills Mahoraga and the entire city of people. Megumi himself is the one who summoned Mahoraga and almost dies to him, and this BS continues to get even worse as Nobara and Nanami dies. It's just, this thing was a complete disaster. I bring all of this up to completely invalidate this scene. Hakari has nothing to show for him to get to Gojo's level. When Hakari meets Yuji, the entire idea he has in mind is to get Yuji to become a pawn in his bigger idea to control all of Japan. If you didn't think he was a psychopath before, you've gotta believe me now. The plan essentially is to get everyone addicted to gambling on the fights that Hakari literally rigs, profiting off of their despair. This would have been a great no, it's not a great idea. This is a grand idea rather. Had it not been so unpopular once we found it. It's been like a year since Hakari's been suspended, and Bro's Fight Club is still in the middle of nowhere with at max 30 people watching. This is the most unsuccessful business I've ever seen given the amount of time he has. Hakari has so much ambition and he just falls short every time. And to top it all off, you wouldn't guess what Hakari does in the same chapter Hakari talks with Yuji. He sees a phone call from Kirara, baits Yuji into revealing himself, and immediately starts trying to fight him.
Nigger moment.
Hakari, despite completely changing his hairdo, is still trying to imitate a stereotypical black man. Yuji literally tells this nigga to wait and hear him out, and can you guess what Hakari says? Nuh-uh. If this isn't ignorance, I don't know what is, and ignorance is the root of a nigga moment. Beyond all of that, Yuji takes all of Hakari's punches and kicks, the only thing in his arsenal by the way, while not even trying to fight him. A couple chapters later, he throws Yuji outside of the room and his own girl tells him that they're trying to ask for help, but you know Hakari. Hakari decides he's going to stand on business because if he stops beating the shit out of Yuji, he looks stupid. And so he continues, and continues. So far, Hakari has fought an old man and now a kid younger than him. I think Hakari genuinely has a problem. The gang finally convinces Hakari to help suppress the culling games, and so we don't get to see him for about 20 chapters. We enter chapter 181 where Hakari is in a Ferris wheel with someone named Charles and is acting hostile towards him. Charles literally says he could have declined getting on the Ferris wheel, but Hakari says he's scoping the scenery for when he'll bring a babe there. Okay, so Hakari is a psychopath, a low-key racist, and now he's unfaithful. How the hell did I ever like this guy? He goes on to start fighting Charles after insulting him, and mind you, literally in that moment he unlocks his curse technique. Of course, this isn't an old man, so Hakari is able to get the upper hand on Charles when he has 1 second of future sight. But 2 seconds? Oh no. Now Charles is reaching old man level. So Hakari does exactly what you're thinking. Yo, Stinkai. I mean, I told you guys, right? He can't do shit in base. He's a weaker Yuji. I mean, look at this. Hakari boxes with Charles inside the domain, and Charles literally defeats him.
Garbage!
Of course, Hakari has to sneak Charles by kicking him in the face, so now we enter Hakari's second fight. Hakari enters Jackpot against Kashimo and punches him away, then tries to follow up with a kick. Okay, Hakari, let's see some more moves. Punch, kick. Okay, kick, punch. Alright, this is getting redundant, bro. He enters his base form again, and yes sir, we about to see some base action.
Bro, really?
Oh wait, he still has to fight in base to get the jackpot. Alright, let's check this out.
Bro, really?
Okay, surely he won't just get a jackpot on his first try, right?
Bro, really? Yeah.
What is even good about this fight? Hakari continues boxing Kashimo and gets hit in base with lightning. Oh shoot, Hakari might need to unlock a new...
Bro, really?
And to make things even worse, Hakari realizes that he's lacking in lethal attacks, so he throws Kashimo into the water to expend all of his curse energy. Hakari, you realize you can't just do this all the time, right? Hakari's plan works out this time, but this is an actual problem because for his upcoming fights, it won't just be that easy. We're fighting Sukuna's squad. Hakari jumps in on chapter 237 to block Urame from interfering with any fights going on, so he ends up getting his jackpot off in the next chapter. Surely we'll get some consistent updates and eventually he will just beat Urame to a pulp. Not this chapter.
And the next day, 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 and the next day.
Phone call, Mr. Plankton.
And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
It's been 17 chapters since this bum named Hakari has been fighting Urame, and honestly, I'm not surprised, because this entire time, Hakari was never on the level of Yuji and Yuta. They're on the front fields fighting Sukuna while Hakari is fighting the maid. I'm changing my name, dog. This nigga is sorry as fuck. You. Yeah, you watching this bum ass video. You better subscribe, or else I'ma find you, and I'ma kill